Today we're going to ask the question of, is ODE Wines Portugal's most exciting winery at the moment? I'm Trent, and we're here on an unapologetically unprofessional, unfiltered wine journey. And we're saying here we drink, we try, we learn, and we connect. Now, recently we've done a Portuguese chicken food and wine pairing, kind of successful. Jason brought a Vinho Verde. I went for a Alvarinho. Both worked, but the Vinho Verde definitely won out in the end. That piqued our interest in terms of delving more into Portugal and specifically into different types of Portuguese wines. We heard about, yes, Vinho Verde, Tejo, but also there's also other really exciting wine areas around it. So one of the most exciting wineries that at the moment that I've been seeing and hearing about is ODE Wines. The reason why is that they were named the best new winery in Portugal and also appeared in Decanters magazine. So what they did there is that they revived the semi-abandoned vineyards, restored it, and now they're creating a whole experience. So today is not so much about discovering, yes, a new winery in Portugal, but it's also this whole experience in terms of what ODE Wines is offering as well. So who are ODE Wines? So ODE Wines is in this area called, now I'm going to mispronounce this, but Quarteto in Portugal's Tejo region, which is 45 minutes north of Lisbon. And if you think about Portugal being this thin strip of land on the west of Spain, Lisbon's kind of like in the middle of that one. So 45 minutes north of that one. As mentioned, it's not just a winery, it's a whole experience. And they call it the ODE Winery Farm and Living. So if you go into the website there, you can see where you can stay. They can look about the olives that they're growing. They look about the cork forests, the cellar door, and also the restaurant that they offer as well. So this is the great thing there. You could visit Lisbon. You could eat some Portuguese tarts. You have some great food. Look at the great colors and the culture there. Then head out 45 minutes north and enjoy some beautiful wines at ODE as well. It is a historic winery, but it's not so much a winery that's gone from, yes, 1902, but it was being restored, lovingly restored, and they've kicked off in 2021, which is only like 5 years ago. And one of the reasons why it's particularly interesting, especially for our Australian viewers and listeners, is that there is Australian connection. Australians have invested there together with a Brazilian counterpart as well. And then also partnering with a Portuguese winemaker, so a person that knows the land and also experience with the land as well, having done 20 vintages in that area. Her name is Maria Vincenti. She teaches WSET courses. She judges at international wine competitions, and she also teaches about how to make port and also about how to make Madeira. So you would have seen our previous episodes as well when we talk about Madeira wines. That's the type of wine, that island that's off the coast of Portugal. In terms of the wines and the wine thinking and the wine philosophy that they're trying to create, there's 2 points there that's on the website. It says minimal intervention and maximum attention. What does that mean? Like for me, it's about, we talk about minimalistic winemaking all the time as well, doing less, letting the land express itself. So that's very on trend, but also the maximum attention as well. Looking at the little things, the little changes, the little decisions that you can make about winemaking, making sure you can achieve that perfection around the wine they're creating and also expressing what Portuguese wines actually speak to. The region itself is called the Tejo region, Tejo or Tejo. We've heard of the other more popular regions, the Douro River that meanders through, and the port wines as well. The Alentejo and also the Vinho Verde wines, the green wines that Jason spoke about when we did the wine pairing with the Portuguese chicken. But the region that's up and coming, the region that's becoming more and more popular is called the Tejo region. It has warm growing areas, reliable ripening, limestone-influenced soils, and natural acidity retention. So it feels like it's perfect for, yes, definitely a white, but also acidity through the red wines as well. So with that, I'm keen to learn and discover vicariously through the glass this area of Portugal. So we're going to start with the whites today first. The first one is this beautiful golden specked color. This is 100% Arinto grape, the ODE Arinto 2023. Let me just get the bottle. Gorgeous, picturesque labels, and you can see Arinto there just slightly on the side. So I don't actually know the reason for the name Ode, but it feels like it's an ode to Portugal, maybe. I don't know, but you probably can tell me. On the smell, it has a richness. You can almost see by the color. It's not that kind of pale green hue. It's this kind of rich, golden type of white wine. It's like a creamed honey. When you go to certain like honey shops, you have creamed honey. It has this kind of richness, this smoothness, this luxurious flavor to it, almost like a dessert, like with a kind of. But it's not orange. It's got acidity there as well. It's got quince. It's got kind of sharp fruits. It's got like rhubarb coming through. It's almost like dessert in a glass, but not sweet. But it's like this kind of more dry style, rich, luxurious, medium heavy bodied, medium bodied type of white wine that would go perfectly with any kind of like rich white sauces with chicken, with fish type of it. I can imagine this is a beautiful food wine. It's got unctuousness to it. So if you haven't tried this Arinto grape before, you've got to try this one. Okay, from Arinto, we're going to go to something that speaks of Portugal. And what is the Portuguese grape varietal that we always think of? Touriga Nacional, that's correct. So this is the Ode Touriga Nacional. What do you guys think of the labels? Is there a slightly different color? Yeah, they're slightly different color, aren't they? So Touriga Nacional, I have heard of this grape before, mainly because that Australian winemakers, Australian wineries are starting to experiment a bit more with Touriga Nacional. One of the wineries especially that I've heard about it is from Yarra. I forget, is it red wine number 2 or 3? They use Touriga Nacional in their blend. I know other areas, probably around South Australia as well, starting to experiment with Touriga Nacional. But what is Touriga Nacional? Let's have a smell. Jumped out of the glass, gorgeous perfume, kind of plum, blackberries, mulberry spice that comes out. I don't know, what do you guys think about when you think about Portugal? I think about beautiful Portuguese seafood. I think about kind of this rustic, earthy, red earth type of area. I think about Portuguese tarts, yes. And this kind of speaks to the land, I think about that kind of like this kind of red cliff faces, that red earth, that dustiness. Medium tannins. I almost was expecting something a bit more bigger coming from the earth, but it's more restrained in terms of tannins. And kind of elegant, medium body tannins comes through, but plums, violets, kind of like purplish colors coming through. It has this earthiness to it, this kind of grunt and earthiness to it, but not Italian earth. It's kind of this own Portuguese identity. It also has spice. It's like bay leaves and sage, and I'm going to use this kind of wanky term, like it's kind of Greek, like kind of rosemary that kind of comes through. And again, this is like the one that you would have in an Australian context, lamb shoulder with a Touriga Nacional, and that would be a beautiful food and wine pairing, I would say. Go try a Touriga Nacional, Australian version. Also try this Ode Touriga Nacional as well. Absolutely delicious. Now, we've had the elegance, the warmth of the white Arinto. We had the traditional flavors of Touriga Nacional, and now we're going to move to one that was, as most great things do, they happen by accident. And this is the Ode Quarteto. And the reason why it's called Quarteto is because the hint quartet, in a orchestral context. There's 4 grapes to it. That's Alicante Boucher, Touriga Nacional, Tinta Barocca, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So the reason why is a happy accident. It was a happy accident during harvest where they made this blend and it worked so well and tasted so good that they just had to keep on making it. A bit like the apple tartatan, the accident, they flipped over the tart. It was so good and they kept on making it. Similar with this wine. Like, it does have a couple of grapes that I'm aware of, which is Touriga Nacional and the Cabernet Sauvignon, the international grape varieties. Alicante Boucher, which I heard of through Rockford. But there's also Tinta Barocca as well. which I have no idea what it does. For me, this one feels like a bit brighter on the nose, but has a more savory aspect to it. Wow. I don't know if it's the Cabernet or something else. Bigger tannins. This is more your kind of, maybe not lamb shoulder, more kind of steak wine, your tomahawk steak type of wine. Has a bit more bigger tannins, more grip to it. Sucks you in. Bigger fruit, more fruit, less earth, juicier, almost like a higher tannin kind of Shiraz, but less alcohol to it. I don't know what the alcohol is. Let's have a look. 13.5%. So again, it's not big. It's probably average, but then this is like a Portuguese version of Shiraz, if you like. Balanced, versatile blend. And this is, again, perfect kind of steak wine that would be going to. So across the range now, we've got the Arinto, we had Touriga Nacional and the Quarteto as well. This is just a selection of what ODE Wines have to offer. They offer different aspects, different varietals. Should go check them out because, yes, the wines are beautiful, but there's also more than just the wines as well. You know, they offer the revival, their new winery looking to regenerate, revive, create experience. Like if you can't get there to Portugal and visit the winery and stay there and try the restaurants, try the wines. They might surprise you. So Ode might be one of those producers that you might need to watch quite closely because I am quietly impressed with what they have to offer. And again, it's about the curiosity, it's about adventure, it's about discovering different wines and discovering the world vicariously through the glass. So thank you, Ode. And we have a saying here, you know, we drink, we learn, we try, and we connect. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.